Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. Today's going to be such a fun day. Let me check in real quick to see the page for the event and make sure that everything's okay there. Let's see. Let me see that this is working. Yep, it's working. Yay. Hi, Asha. Nice to see you. Anybody else that's on the line, please also comment in the comment section so that I can see who's here. It's always nice to see you guys. Okay. I've got something really awesome planned today, so I can't wait to get started. Let's get there. Let me put on my headphones because I want the quality of the audio to be really good. Okay, so this is, as you well know, that this is a masterclass that's going to be focusing on your path of least resistance. And this is the path to welcoming 1 to 4 dream clients this August and finally making the mythical 20K, right? What feels like a dream or a wish or whatever, making that this August. So not next year, not in 5 years, whatever. I've been speaking lately with women that have been in business for years and years and years, like over 10 years, and they still haven't hit that. So this is definitely not that path, right? And this means, you know, most of the information that's out there right now, I feel that they're going for one of a few things. Either they say, hey, you know, learn this launch and then you can make 20K, right? So this is not that path. There's another way that this says, hey, let's do all these healings. And, you know, if you do all of these healings, you know, you'll get there. You'll, you know, there's pretty much like, reinforcing in a way like that there's something wrong with you and there's nothing wrong with you, right? Or the path of like working really, really hard and losing your sanity in the process. That's not where, none of those things are the path of least resistance here. So welcome. In case that you don't know me, because I know that a lot of you are new to me, right? Or you haven't been to my masterclass, you've seen me online for a while, but you haven't haven't really gotten to know me, or you don't know that much about my story. I want to just tell you a little bit. So my name is Sazzu. I'm a success coach, and I've been working with women for about 4 years now. I worked with a few men too, but mostly women. And the thing that I've been doing for the last 4 years is to really help them reach their impossible goals. Okay, at one point, my goal was achieving the 20K months, right? And they felt seriously impossible to me. But I did something very specific that was underlying everything else that I was practically working on at the times, right? So meaning, you know, behind all the marketing, behind the strategies and all of that, I had already learned a lot of these things over the years. But I still couldn't crack the code, so to speak, right? Of why it worked, why, you know, those things worked for some people and then for other ones it didn't at all, right? I was one of the ones that it wasn't working for a long time. Until I unconsciously, not even consciously, but unconsciously, I started doing this thing, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today, right? My big passion has been helping women entrepreneurs at different levels. So it's not just working with a particular group, but I've worked with women at all kinds of different levels to help them become successful in the ways that they want, not in the ways that other people have told them that they should do it, not in the ways that, for example, something like a coaching program told you that you should do it, right? None of those ways, but the way that actually feels good to them, right? And over the past year, I have focused on helping people specifically in making money, bringing in big chunks of money, right? And I have looked for this theory that I have to be disproven, but it still has not been disproven. And that is that the idea of money itself, the limitations around money, the need for money is pretty much one of the biggest blocks that people have. And once you're actually on the other side of it, you can actually see how simple it was. But before, everything felt like chaotic and catastrophic, right? Plus, you can see on the other side as well how by transforming this particular piece, so the money piece, you actually help transform every aspect of your life, okay? Not just in the material way, meaning that, hey, now I can go on that vacation, or hey, now I can actually send my kids to private school, or whatever the deal is, right? It's in all of those things, and also in who you actually become, right? On the other side, after you start making, the 10K, 20K, 30K, 50K, right? Whatever that is for you, right? There is no price to confidence, right? But it sure, I feel like it helps, right? When you're doing something and getting these types of results, at the 20K level, for example, it really transforms the way that you see yourself and what you know that you're capable of. This is pretty much why I do this. So if you're here, if you decided to join us, and there's quite a few that are here live, the bottom line is that you've been seeing results that are at a lower level than 20K, right? You've decided that 20K months is what will help you live the life that you want, right? So this is the goal that you have right now. This is the goal that you're aspiring to, right? And probably every month or so, you've been getting 1 to 4 clients, okay? You also know that you've been having a really hard time making the 3 to 7K that you've been making, right? Maybe you're a little bit under, a little bit over, it doesn't matter. So there are still so many voices in your head, right? Telling you all sorts of things, like, how could you ever make 20K if you haven't even made 10K consistently, right? Or another one could be saying, that you're working so hard to make this much money. How much harder could you ever work to make 20K? Because that's the paradigm that you're living in, right? So if it's this hard to make, $3,000, for example, then you can't even imagine how much harder you will have to work. Like, that would be like what, like 5 times harder, right? Or more. That's kind of harsh, right? Like you don't see that being a possibility at this particular point, right? So some of you also, some of those voices could also be telling you that, hey, this is just a wish, this would be so cool, right? I think I started with that one actually. Oh, this would be so cool if I could make 20K, right? And when you're treating the desire, the goal, so to speak, as a wish, right? The dream has no legs, right? Like it has no grounding. It's just kind of like floating or whatever. It's not something that you're really considering as a possibility. It's something that you're just considering as cool, right? And that also doesn't help. So all of those voices are actually in your head right now, or some of them. Okay, so what I'm covering today is going to really address these things to make the 20K goal feel like it's actually possible, like it's actually achievable this August, to make you ready for September. I did this last year as well. September is a kick-ass month for business. It's a kick-ass month for business, for our types of businesses especially, because people are done with their breaks and they're ready to get back to work. They're ready to finish the year making their financial goals and all of that stuff. So August is the best month for you to start putting these pieces in place so that you can make, you know, over 20K in September. Okay, it's a million times easier. September and January are like the best months in business, okay? So this is what we're gonna be covering, okay? What's causing your goal to slip through your fingers month after month, even when it feels so close, right? I remember so many times when I felt, oh my God, it's so close. I can feel it, you know? And I have clients tell me this all the time. I feel it. This is so close, you know, it's right here. And yet, you know, missing the mark, right? So what is causing it to not actually happen, not actually materialize, right? Then I'm going to cover the non-marketing strategy that leads to the highest months and attracting the best clients for you. So this is primarily because I feel that there's so many things being thrown at coaches and, you know, spiritual service-based entrepreneurs, I guess you could say. And there's so many things that feel like, oh, do this, and they're all very like marketing based. And the thing, like I said before, for me, at least, the thing that was underlying all the things that I was actually doing and the things that I already knew, I feel like most of you don't really need any more marketing strategies. You already know enough, okay? You know how to post on Facebook, so you know enough of a marketing strategy. It's not that's actually not causing the results. So this is going to be the thing underlying all of that actually leads to the highest months, right? And attracting the best clients. Then I'm going to talk about something that I haven't yet ever talked about, which is why treating clients like sales, right? Like they're just a sale, is causing a block in the flow of more people signing up for your discovery sessions and programs, right? Why is this actually causing this problem? And then you want to stay until the end, because I'm going to give you a little bit of immersion hack that I call, right? I called it mindset hack, but that's actually incorrect. It's an immersion hack that is that recently helped me get 2 new high-end clients in less than a week. When I learned it, like immediately, I saw crazy results, and I'm still seeing results from it. So you want to stay until the end so that I can tell you how to do that. Okay. So because we have, I mean, it's already like 1:16, and I actually have my clock in military time. So I'm like, okay, what is that again? Because we only have 1 hour together, and I could seriously talk about this for days and days and days and days. I promise really that by the end, I'm going to share with you, I'm going to share with you how you can learn more about all of this, because I know that very likely you're going to have even more questions, and this is what I'm going to share with you at the end. Okay. So like I said before at the beginning, I know a lot of people signed in around 110 or so. So I want to see who else is here. So if you can just comment in the comment section so that I can see. I saw Asher already commented, and I was very happy about that. Okay, so I see Brittany, I see Calista, I see Vanessa, and I see Anna. Hi, guys. Oh, I love you guys so much. Okay. So let me get back to the other stuff. Let me see. Okay. So I want to ask you a question, and I really want you to take a second, just a second, so that you can actually feel into this answer, because it's I want it to really come from inside of you, from really, really deep inside. Okay. How many of you excuse me, let me take a sip of water. I've been cleansing, so I think that this cleanse is causing havoc in my face and my throat and everything, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so how many of you feel confused on the how of making 20K? Okay. Like the actual how to do this. Just take a second. And if you're clear on the how technically, right? But you're confused on the why it's not actually working for you, meaning that you're already doing what you know that you need to do, but you don't know why it's not working. So you're already doing everything. So it's not that that you're not knowing what you need to do. You're already doing it, right? And if that feels like you, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand just for your own sake. I know that I'm not going to see you, or you can even type raise hand in the comments and then acknowledge, like, so that I can acknowledge you. But just raise your hand for your own sake, right? Like saying, yep, that's me, right? And the thing is that I was right there in the same spot, right? I was one of those people that I felt I have everything stacked against me. And I'm not talking just about, you know, the last 4 years when I was doing business, or at least the beginning 2.5 years or so, right? But like for a long time, I felt like I had everything stacked against me. And when I started my business, all of the stuff started coming up, right? So all of the stuff that I thought that I had been okay with in my life, that everything was fine, no, all of it started coming up. So just so that you know, what are some of those things, right? For example, I grew up in a third world country. That's Cuba, until I was about 12 years old. So even after that, when I came to the States, I still felt like I grew up pretty poor my whole life. Another thing that came up for me is that when I was working my whole life, and I was working really hard my whole life since I was 14 years old. Okay, so I started working so that I could buy my own clothes, because my mom, she was making $20,000 a year, right? So she couldn't afford to buy them for me. None of my siblings either. Like, I have a brother and a sister, and my mom, she didn't buy us anything. We bought ourselves everything since we were in high school. Okay, I didn't, you know, like the other things that I felt that were stacked against me is that I didn't have any connections, right? I didn't have any advantages of any kind, except for the fact that I knew that I could work hard. You know, if I wanted something, I could work hard enough and make it happen, right? In Cuba, that was one of the first things that were always rewarded, right? For example, I was the one in middle school in Cuba because I worked hard, right? And I was number 3 when I graduated in high school because I worked hard. And I graduated with honors in college because I worked hard, right? I knew, I pretty much knew that if you worked hard enough, you could get anything that you wanted, right? And that was precisely why I was not making any money. That was precisely why I wasn't making any money. Okay. I didn't realize, this took me a really long time to realize. So I was like working hard for like 2 years straight. It was crazy and I was exhausted, right? I didn't realize that money, just like energy, just like water, right? It likes to flow, right? Money likes to flow. And by working hard and believing that I had to work hard and in order to get money in my business the same way that I had done my entire life, I was putting all of these blocks in between so that there was no flow, right? So there was this a wall here, a wall here, a wall here, right? And the water was like going all over the place, or the money was going all over the place, but it wasn't going to me, right? It was like going in all directions, right? And I didn't realize what it was that I needed to focus on to make the flow start up again. This was my path, my own particular one. Everybody has their own path of most resistance, right? This was mine. And if you're here or yours may look similar to this, welcome, because we all started from the same place. Like we're all sort of like in the same journey with this particular thing, with the money piece, right? I'm sharing this with you because I want you to get that the beliefs that you have right now are what is stopping you from making the money. It's what's stopping the flow. Okay. My mentor calls them value conflicts. It's kind of like you have conflicting ideas, right? Contradicting ideas, contradicting beliefs or whatever, or values that are sort of like trying to work at the same time, and they don't work, right? So it's like the block and the flow, right? The money's trying to go this way and the block is here, and they're trying to work at the same time, and they're coming up against a wall every time. He calls the value conflicts. I like calling them bullshit. Because it is what it is, you know. The only thing is that most people can't really see how much bullshit is stuck in this whole concept, right? And the idea of this conflict, so to speak, is that it's making it practically impossible for you to even think that you could possibly make $20,000. Okay, maybe in the back of your head you're thinking, yeah, you know, with enough time I bet that I could, right? That's what I was thinking all the time. Or maybe once a year I could do this, right? Once a year I could hit it, right? And or something like that. That feels like it's possible. But it's in the making it multiple times. It's in the making it consistently, right? That you see those fantastic results happen. So now that we're over that, I want to see if anybody else said hi. Let me check that out. And as you guys are hearing things and you have any questions at all, please put it down. I would love to see the questions. So I have Allison, I have Stacy. I have Ananda too. Okay, awesome, you guys. Awesome, awesome. So what does that mean, Stacy? Yes, the why. So if you guys have, like I said, you know, if you guys have any questions at all, start typing them, because I'm going to go over this and I'm going to respond to it, but I don't want you to forget the questions. That would be like the worst thing, right? For you to forget it. Okay, so let's start with what's causing your goal to slip through your fingers month after month, even when it feels so darn close, right? So to make $20,000, this is gonna sound really, really simple, right? To make $20,000 a month, all you need is to stay aligned with that goal, right? Super simple, right? most things are complicated, okay? So when you're seeing that you're making this thing so freaking hard, you know that your mind and your ego are at work, making, all sorts of stories and ideas behind to make it really, really impossible for you. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? Okay, so you have to be aligned to the 20K. That means that everything surrounding the goal, decisions that you make, the actions that you take, your emotions and your thoughts are all in alignment, all of them, okay? The problem that I see is that most people don't understand what it is, what it is that needs to be in alignment, what it is that doesn't need to be in alignment, right? So what is and what isn't in alignment, okay? You can start taking a look at this particular piece by looking at what you're resisting. Okay, so what are the things that you're resisting doing? So forget about the thoughts and forget about the emotions for a second, right? What are the actions that you're resisting doing for now? Okay, and you'll see when you actually just take a look at the actions, you'll see that there are a lot of stories, right? A lot of stories, a lot of emotions attached to those things, okay? When you boil it right down to it, there are two main things like lurking underneath all of that, right? Just two. There's a fear of failure and a fear of rejection, okay? In one way or another, that's what's happening, okay? So let me give you another tip that could help to place this in your life so that you can see what's really happening here, right? I want you to think about, so take a look back in your memory at a day, a week, or a month, right? That perhaps you didn't achieve your goal, right? Or maybe you achieved part of it. It doesn't matter, right? Take a look back and see how much you were actually reacting emotionally to a lot of things, okay? Even the things that felt like it was your intuition. You were taking actions, making decisions, all of these things, and you felt, oh, I'm being guided, but then looking back, you still didn't achieve your goal, right? Intuition leads you to the goal. Intuition will never lead you astray. So was it your intuition? I want you to really, question yourself here. Okay, how much were you reacting emotionally to these things, to the things that you said that you were going to do, but then you didn't, right? And how do they feel now? Okay, do they feel now that they were actually just there, like those things that you were reacting to distract you from your goal? Okay, just pay attention. Look back. So even at the end of today, you could do this, right? Or you could look at yesterday and say, okay, how many things did I say that I was going to do? And how many things did I not complete, right? And why didn't I complete them, right? Most of the time, it's an emotion or a story that you have attached to it, right? And it's like pretty much all it's doing is just distracting you. Okay, you can only see this when you're looking backwards, right? So you can't say, oh, okay, I'm gonna see that I'm gonna do this tomorrow. No, right? Well, if you have a pattern that you've been doing this, it's likely perhaps that you are gonna do this tomorrow, right? But if you look backwards, like you can only do this exercise looking backwards in time, because those are things that you already did and you have proof in those that this was actually happening, right? The idea here is how to do it now and in the future, okay? So that you can actually stay aligned to your goal all of the time. So not part of the time, because being aligned to your goal part of the time means part of the goal. Doesn't mean 100% of the goal, it means part of it, Okay, so that means that you could end up with a 7K month, or you can end up with a 10K month, or even a 15K month, but then you won't reach the 20K, right? Because you were not aligned 100% of the time. And it doesn't mean that we don't fall off, like we're human, please. You know, as human as the next person. I think I wrote a post at one point how I felt my way to a 40K month, right? It's fine so long as you actually, you know, can bring yourself back into it as quickly as possible. Okay, now let's go to number 2. Here I'm talking about the non-marketing strategy that leads to the highest months and attracting the best clients for you. Okay, so before I do this, can I ask you something? I want you to think about this. So this is a little bit interactive this time, right? For those of you that have been with me for a long time, I'm asking more questions than usual. And if you have pen and paper or whatever handy, I definitely suggest that you actually write these things down. Okay, so why have you invested with some people and not with others? Okay, and I can tell you why I've done it. Okay, I know that I did it. I did this because you know, I wanted a specific result. Okay, so say that they were promising this result and I wanted that result. I said, oh, you know, I should look at this person and see if I want to invest with them. Okay, but when I looked at it, this was a long time ago, right? When I looked at it, this felt really surface level, right? When I boiled it right down to the real reason why I invested with someone, it was that I wanted something that that coach or that mentor had. They had something, they themselves, who they were being, had something that I wanted from them, right? It was an energy, their way of being, their understanding, okay, that went beyond the marketing or whatever, right? They were being themselves, okay, as fully as they could in that moment. And I could recognize it and I could value it because that's something that I was looking for, right? To be more and more of me. We're all looking for that, right? And that's the main reason why it made me want to buy. Because if you really think about it, I'm sure that I could have probably found 10 other people that were offering the same result. And yet I chose this particular person, okay? Now look at the people that you didn't buy from, okay? Perhaps there was something that felt off, okay? They were likely that they were fragmented somewhat, okay? There was a disconnect between them and you, right? And it went beyond reason or comprehension. I don't know. There was something there, okay? And there are 2 things about this, okay? There's timing and being someone's ideal soul client, right? So I really do believe in that. I believe that we are destined to work with very specific people. So perhaps like they weren't the right people for you to work with, right? That's one of the things. And the other is the fact that their energy is not whole. You know, when the energy is not whole and you cannot feel that they can actually give you that result, right? Because they are not being fully themselves, and it's really difficult for you to actually say yes, right? So how does this apply to you? In the exact same way, okay? If you can tap into this energy within you, right? So like you, I guess I'm going like this because I'm thinking of myself, right? If you can go into this energy within you, okay, it will become the magnetizing force for your ideal clients. So this is like the thing that goes beyond reason, right? They won't even know what they're attracted to you. They just know that you're the right person for them, okay? Your best clients will be magnetized, and it won't matter, like the price won't matter, right? This is the biggest reason that people, you know, I don't know if you've seen people on Facebook or, you know, friends that you know that are also entrepreneurs, but you've seen them make huge strides forward so quickly, right? It was something in their understanding of themselves, right? In their energy that changed, especially when they've been doing the same thing for a long time, right? It's not like the way that they're, not the way, but it's not that their teaching has changed that much. It's just that who they're being is completely different. And that's not tactical. That's not strategic. It's just energetic, right? So that's definitely something you can tap into within you so that you can get the higher results. Okay, the last thing for the actual steps, right? So why treating clients like sales, right? Treating clients like sales, who wants to be that salesy? Why treating clients like sales is causing a block in the flow of more people signing up for your discovery sessions and programs. Okay, so this is where it gets funky. Okay, this is one of the blocks that you can generally feel from someone who's fragmented, right? And who's not as aligned to the truth. So they're having issues with this particular piece. Okay, they're going either one way or the other. So they're either treating their clients like too much like people, and let's see how much you get triggered with this, or too much like sales. So the issue is not that they're treating them like sales or like people. It's the fact that they're not doing both at the same time, okay? The issue here is with the judgment coming from you as to what a potential client actually is. So they are both a sale and a potential client, right? Not just one or the other. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about before, right? Your emotions, your values, your morals. Again, running the show, and it doesn't work. If you're allowing those things to run the show, it won't work. So what do you have to do? You have to combine the concept of the potential client, combine the sale with the ideal clients. That's what skyrockets your income, okay? Stop making them one or the other. They are both, okay? They're both. So whether it's one 20K client or two 10K clients or 4 or 5K clients, I don't care, okay? There's no judgment. It really depends on which way you want to go this month, right? It depends on how you want to work with your clients. And then you see those potentials as both, right? So those potential clients, you see them as both because of that, okay? And your authenticity will shine through because it's the truth. The truth is that they're both things. They're not one or the other. The fact that you're treating them, either you're feeling super salesy and you're treating them like a sale, or you're treating them like you're trying not to be super salesy, right? And you're treating them like too much like a person, right? And that does not work. They need to see you, okay? They need to see you as a mentor, right? And when you're too much on one side or the other, they can't see you. They can't see you, okay? People treat others too much like a piece of meat or too much compassionately like a human, right? And neither of those things position you as the solution for them. Because either one of those things will feel off because it's not real. It's still fragmented. It's still part of the same problem that we were talking about before. Okay, so let's recap real quick the 3 steps. So, okay, so you have to stay aligned with your goal, and the goal on 3 levels: your body, your mind, and your emotions and soul. It has to be fully aligned. You have to be fully aligned with your goal. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. And then you're feeling, that up and down and the hit it 1 month and then not 3 months in a row, or whatever the deal is, right? Like, this is what actually makes it go. Okay? You focus on your energy and authenticity so that you can show up as whole and become desirable to your prospects. Okay, that's pretty much the essence of what I said in the second step. Okay, and the third is to stop judging yourself, okay? You're judging yourself way too much, especially when it comes to making money. And you need to see potential clients as both clients and sales, okay? So that you can be seen as the best solution for them. They will feel that you are the best solution for them. When you can actually be there and be in your truth and stop hiding the fact that you want the damn sale, okay? It's not off. It's not horrible that you want the sale. And it's not horrible to also treat them with compassion and to stop being so damn aggressive, you know? I had this problem before. I was so aggressive and it wasn't healthy. It wasn't good for me. And it was also like pushing people away. So this is like the way that you can actually get into the full you, Okay. So now we're, you know, like about like almost 20 minutes away, right? So, and I wanted to tell you, so I want to leave time for questions. So remember at the beginning that I told you that I was going to share with you how to learn more, because these are 3 things. So I have obviously a ton more. I hope that you've learned a lot from what I just said, and that you're actually really asking yourself these questions that I asked, because it's very important to really sit with this and to really understand what's actually happening in your business, okay? I need a bigger bottle of water. Okay, so I'm really passionate about this, okay? Especially breaking through limitations and giving yourself a complete different experience, because then you can make that experience something permanent and unshakable, right? So when you do something crazy like hit your first 10K month, and then you don't know how to make that permanent, then it almost like it's like the biggest tease in the whole world, right? Yeah, you hit 10K, but then, you know, you still don't know how to make that consistently, okay? What that means to me, you know, to be unshakable and for it to be permanent is that it's really all in the helping women to achieve the goals and making that income their new normal. So what is the new way that you're going to be, rather than doing it this way once and then going back to the old ways and going back to the old ways and then going back to the old ways, right? No, making it permanent, okay? The problem that I see is that most women that want to call in something that is so high, so like the 20K goal or whatever, they have a lot of these unconscious blocks in their flow, right? And it makes it practically impossible. So I just shared 3 different things that you could look at. There's a lot more, right? That you can start, that you can look at to release some of these blocks, okay? Especially when it comes to the emotions, the thoughts, and the actions. If they're not aligned towards the goal, and they focus on things such as mindset alone, or the actions and the strategies alone, the picture is not complete. You can't do one without the other. Everything has to be there. It has to be the mindset, it has to be the emotions, it has to be the actions, all working together in one direction, okay? The solution, I mean, the only way to do this, and to do this in a way that feels consistent, is to have a way that actually addresses all of these 3 levels, right? I don't know if any of you, I'm sure that some of you, and I know that some of you actually have read The Science of Getting Rich, especially by my recommendation. And if you haven't, you should, for sure, okay? One of the major things that I learned from the book after. And this wasn't like the first time that I heard it or read it, right? Because I've done both. It was like after many, many, many times of having heard it, right? Is that I finally got that we live for the body, we live for the mind, and we live for the soul. This is fulfillment. I mean, this is flow. He talks about it in this book, right? This is when the goals that you have are fully aligned with who you're being and can actually manifest. You know, if you're into manifestation and into all of that, we can all have this experience, and we have had it one way or another in our past, you know, whether it's been in our relationships, you know, when you were aligned body, mind, and soul towards something that you wanted in your relationship, you achieved it. I know that I've experienced that. When I was ready to call him my soulmate, I was fully aligned body, mind, and soul, and then 3 months later, bam, I found him, you know. It also, you know, maybe you had the experience of doing this with your weight when you finally transform your body, or at one point where you were actually getting clients, that you felt like, oh my God, I'm really here, I'm really doing this. And, you know, perhaps now you're just not understanding how to get back into that flow again, right? When you're understanding and fully integrating, okay, what it means to you, not to someone else, right? To be authentic on these 3 levels, things have to flow. So it's not like, okay, you're doing all of these things and you're being all of these things and then there's still no flow. No, when you're aligned in those 3 levels, things have to flow, and have to flow, you know, at the level that you can receive. And if you're here, I'm guessing that level is probably 20K. Okay. That's what I call immersion. Okay. That's when you're fully immersed in this concept, and it has to flow, like things have to flow, right? And that's what my work is all about. That's what my programs are all about right now. And this is why I've seen over and over that my clients get results so quickly, right? And myself as well, because you know, there's this concept of immersion that's really touched within it. I've done it. I hadn't done it in this way before, where it's so focused on this particular area, and I'm seeing really awesome results from it. Okay, so now another question for you. So how many of you, after hearing all of this, do you think that you could actually benefit from one-on-one time with me, right? So that you can find out what exactly is causing that stumper in your flow, okay? Because there's a stumper there. If it wasn't, then you would be making the 20K already, right? You would be receiving the 1 to 4 clients. So whatever level you're at, it doesn't matter. It would be there already. Okay, so right now I can tell you I'm so grateful that I've been able to talk to you like this today. So to those of you that said yes, you know, whether you raise your hand or not, you know, to say yes, you know, I could totally benefit from someone else looking at my business and seeing, you know, what's really causing me not to have this flow, to be consistent, right, in my business, then I have made space in my schedule for 10 and only 10 breakthrough sessions. I'm going to do them tomorrow and Saturday. Okay, so there are going to be probably a few available next week, but you know, if those times don't work for you tomorrow or Saturday, that's fine. You can just let me know. But you should see below you should see in your email. So you should have received already an email that tells you, you know, that gives you the links to request a session with me. And that link, you know, you should go on it after you are finished with your with this, and then you can go and sign up for this. And then I'll also put it in the I'll put it in the under the video here. So in this page, you'll see it as well, but right now it's not there yet. So if you're refreshing towards the end of the video, you'll see that you'll see it there later. Okay, so I'll make sure that that's there for you. Okay, so let me lower this for a second, because we're gonna get to questions in a second, so I can't wait. Okay. So, okay, so, you know, do that if you feel like this would be of benefit to you. My focus for these sessions is really gonna be in seeing exactly what's causing the mishap there. So like the stumper in the flow. And my goal is to give you as much value as I can during this session, okay? Anyone that has done a session with me can really testify to the fact that I give a ton of value. So if you're feeling cold, I'm going to tell you, take advantage of this opportunity to get my eyes on your business so that you can understand what you need, you specifically, to move ahead. So this is not someone else. This is not just cookie cutter. This is like what's happening with you, okay? So this is my last question. This is the last thing that I want to ask you, okay? Do you want to keep your story, be right, be good, be correct, or do you want to be on purpose and see results? Because it's either your lie or your truth, and it can't be both, okay? When you're struggling so much in your business, it's because you're holding on to a reality that is not based in truth, okay? And the truth is that it's easy. It's the only thing that actually causes flow. So if this is not happening and you're not seeing your 20K months, then you have to really examine, okay, am I really choosing to keep my story, to hold on to my story, or am I choosing to be living my purpose at the level that I'm supposed to be living my purpose? Really to go high, to as high as I possibly can in this lifetime, to not hold myself back, right? What aspects of your story just to be good, to be right, to be accepted, right? Which aspects of your story are you actually holding on to? Okay. And if you take just one thing from this today, from this masterclass, if I had to pick the thing that you would walk away with, okay, is that it would be for me the fact that we're all looking for authenticity, okay? This is our journey. This is everything that we're looking for, okay? We got disconnected from it at one point, and now we just want it back because that's what makes us feel good. That's what makes us feel whole and not broken or whatever the story is inside of your head, right? When we're being us, things feel good. We have awesome lives. We have great relationships, okay? Our bodies feel sexy and healthy, and money just comes without so much drama, right? We create so much drama around money, okay? When we're not being us, mind, body, and soul, all areas of your life are affected, okay? And you feel unhappy and unsatisfied in a lot of them. But every single area is affected at one point or another, okay? And this is not striving for perfection. It's striving for truth, and this is the truth, okay? So really, really, really think about that. I want you to think about that. And if you have questions, obviously post them down below, okay? So for me, it's been a pleasure to speak with you. I'm gonna check now the Facebook group to see if anybody posted any questions there, and I'm gonna check out the Hangout page. And then after the questions. So I'll go as late as 2:20 or so. So however many questions you guys have, I'm here for you. So I'll stay, and then I'll give you the bonus immersion hack that helped me get 2 clients in less than a week. Okay, so I'll definitely cover that after. Let's see the questions. Let me check that real quick. All right, let's see. Let me sort by newest. Oh, so I see a few more people. So Ashra says, how do we heal the crazy money beliefs? For me, it's this feeling of horrible money beliefs stuck inside of me. Yeah, so you can't really stop your thoughts. And I feel that this is also coming from an understanding that you have to heal something inside of you. There's nothing to heal. You're already whole, okay? This isn't really understanding how you're whole and paying attention to that so that you can see the truth, okay? When you see the truth and you see what's real, then it's a lot easier to make decisions that are based on the truth and not on your money beliefs that you have right now, right? I hope that answers your questions. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll answer it. So Calista says, I'm resisting posting on Facebook groups, on Facebook and groups, writing my marketing and planning and doing webinars. Yeah, so that's the first place that you need to look. But like I said in the webinar, it's not just looking at the actions, it's looking at the feelings behind and the stories that you have around it, okay? This is going to give you a lot of information about what's actually happening for you, okay? Because the whole idea here was that you feeling this way and you actually reacting emotionally to these things is what's actually causing you not to be able to achieve your goal. And I'm actually going to share a little bit more on that on the bonus material after the call, because that's actually what the bonus material is about. So I'm sure that you'll get more from that. But that's pretty much the essence of it, Calista. Let me know if you have any other questions about this. Okay, so Allison says, one of my mentors has said that what comes easily to you is a sign that this is what you're meant to do. If something seems uphill, is that a signal that it's just not what you're supposed to be doing? No, growth feels painful a lot of the time. Growth, there's like so many challenges that come from you being in a space of growth. When you're growing, you have to choose consistently something that feels uncomfortable, okay? Because it's not normal yet. It's still not easy for you. I feel like there's some truth to that. So meaning that you have very specific talents that are more natural to you, and you should definitely use and take advantage of those things that do come naturally to you. But if you have a desire to do something, desire trumps everything else. Like if you have a desire to do something and that thing doesn't feel easy, it means that there's just that much more growth for you, that there's a lot of things that you need to work through in order to allow yourself to receive that in your life. So I hope that makes sense to you, Allison. Yeah, I think that I think it's a little bit of both, but I think that there's also a misunderstanding there, because there's no such thing as desire in that concept, and desire really trumps everything else you have. And also remember that you have the capacity, you have like the energy of the entire universe inside you. You have the capacity to do anything and everything that you put your mind to. It's just a fact. Like, there were many things in your life that felt that you couldn't do at one point, but yet you tried and tried, and now perhaps you're mastering some of them. So I can give you, I don't know how many examples in my life where that has happened. One of them was in me being healthy. Like, at one point I felt really unhealthy, and I felt like crap all the time, and I couldn't eat healthy at all. I was eating junk all the time. I would sit down. This is hilarious to me now, but I would sit down with a box of Cheez-Its. Like, I love that taste so much, right? And I would just eat the whole damn thing, right? And it felt impossible for me to be able to stop myself to do that. And now I wouldn't even be able to eat like a handful of Cheez-Its, let alone a whole box, right? There are a lot of things that feel impossible at one point, but you have the ability to do it. You just have to believe that you have the ability to do it, and then put in the time. Okay. Kalista, too much like a person? Yes, too much like a person, meaning that you are too empathetic towards them, and that does not position you as a mentor. So if you're treating them too much like a sale, right, and too much like a person, you're doing both things. Both aspects of that feel wrong to the person that you're talking to, because the truth is that they are a sale, and you're judging the fact that they're a sale. So you're trying to either be overcompensate, or you are being too much of a sales mongol, or whatever that's called, right? And not allowing yourself to really see them as if you're being too much like a sales person and just doing sales in that way that doesn't feel good, then you can't connect to them. So both aspects will be wrong. Milan Perry says, great points. Thank you. And Ursha says, hi, I have a question, Sazzu. You always say we should look at results, but what about the idea that we shouldn't get distracted by appearances when manifesting our desires? I heard a quote recently, don't let so-called reality distract you. They're different things. You look at your results because you look at the outside to get information. You get distracted by them, by your outside appearances, when you're emotionally attached to them. And when you're looking at your results, you're not looking at them through the lens of emotion or your story that you have around what those results actually mean. You look at the result, you say, hey, I didn't make any money this month, right? I didn't have a single client. There were like 2 inquiries and they weren't wrong. And, someone hung up on me and the other person called me a bitch. Like, let's say that was the case, right? That's information. It's great information. Okay, so maybe I need to look at my manners when I'm talking to people. Maybe I need to look at my discovery session process. Maybe I need to post more on Facebook. Maybe I need to do a masterclass or a live call to attract potential buyers, right? What is it that you need to do? When you're looking at that, you're just looking at it for information. The results, yeah, you have to look at the results. If you don't look at the results, then you don't know what the hell to do, And if you're looking at the results and you're thinking that there's something completely different, so you're lying to yourself about what those results are, then you're going to end up somewhere completely different, because you have to know where you are in order for you to see where you need to go. That's just a basic truth there. So let's see if there's any more questions. No more questions there. Let me see if I have any questions on the Facebook, thing, event. Okay, I don't see any questions there. Do you guys have any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to jump into, these are awesome, by the way. I loved these questions. These were really good. But if I don't have any other questions, then I'm going to jump into the rest of the content. So I really prefer to keep talking to you guys, because I know that there are a lot of these things that we're so confused by, but a lot of the times, like I remember I've done that in the past, where I've gone to mentors and events and things, and like I had all these questions and I wouldn't ask questions. So definitely don't do that here. This is an open space and I'm very open to sharing with you. Okay? But if there are no questions, then I may just go into the last of it. Okay, so before I get into the bonus materials, I just wanted to reiterate it again about the breakthrough sessions. So just to give you a little bit more background, or to explain again what I was saying before. So I'm going to be doing 10 breakthrough sessions split between tomorrow and Saturday. So if you're really considering that you need someone else's eyes on your business right now so that you can see what the hell is happening, because you know what you need to do, but you're not doing it, right? Or you have no idea what you need to do. You don't know what is actually happening. And another thing that I didn't mention before, which I kind of hinted at it at the very beginning, but I didn't mention it during the event, is the fact, the concept of how. Very likely what you're focused on is in the how do I do this? How do I do this? Is actually misplaced. It's actually causing part of the rift. So I really need to see, I would need to see personally what's going on with your business, right? To ask you some key questions and things like that for you to see what's actually causing this disrupt in the flow. Why are you not there at the 20K level yet? Why is this still a little bit of a dream and not a consistent reality, right? And I'll share with you what are the concepts behind immersion that actually could work for you specifically in creating these changes, because this is everything. I mean, the Wallace Waddell said it in The Science of Getting Rich. That book is like my Bible. If you've never read it, seriously, you need to go and read it. But we live for the body, we live for the mind, we live for the soul. Those things are completely integrated into me, right? And those three aspects is what actually causes the shift. It's what causes a shift that's so dramatic that sometimes it's like, what the hell are you doing, right? And most of those people that we want to ask those questions to, it's because they are authentic. Like they're actually doing and being and feeling all of these things in the way that feels in alignment with their goal. And that's why they're actually going and kicking ass, right? So by now you have below the video that you're watching, you have the the box that says apply for your business makeover session. So you can totally click on that, and then it'll take you directly to it, or just check the email that I sent you. So if you received the other emails, you should have these emails as well, and you'll see it in your inbox, and it'll give you the link for the discovery session, so you can apply for it. It's more like a breakthrough session makeover, so that you can actually walk away with a clear understanding of what's going on in your business. Okay, so let me just check one last time for questions, and if not, then I'm going to go into the bonus, because this is going to be good. And then I will calmly go into the bathroom, because I need to go to the bathroom. Oh, Anne-Marie, you're so cute. I don't charge for my breakthrough sessions, love. They are complimentary. They're all having to do with you, and then if we find something that we could work together on, then we do that. And if not, then I send you with a lot of love on your way. And if you need something else that I can't help you with, so for example, if you have something very specific that I know someone that could help you, then I will direct you to that person. So for example, I wasn't working with beginner entrepreneurs for a while, and I would be sending them to other coaches that could better handle their needs, right? So yeah, that's a good question. It's always a good question. I get that question sometimes. It's if you guys are charging for your sessions, I would recommend that you don't. But that's a business decision that you need to make on your own. Okay, so let me share with you the bonus. So from here on, if you watch a replay, you won't see this. I'm gonna take it out of this video at the end. As soon as I'm done here, I'll take it out because I don't want, you guys deserve it. You were